Welcome, my amazing friends. Today, I bring you a story that will touch your heart, inspire your soul, and teach you powerful lessons about life, success, and never giving up. This is the story of a man who was not just an actor, not just a comedian, he was a legend. A man whose name is written in golden letters in the history of cinema. A man who made the whole world laugh while hiding his own tears. His name, Sir Charles Spencer Chaplin. But we all know him as Charlie Chaplin. No one, absolutely no one, can match his greatness. His work is timeless. His comedy is universal. His life is a lesson in perseverance, creativity, and the power of never giving up. Even today, decades after his time, he lives in our hearts. His movies still bring joy. His struggles still inspire. And his story, oh, my friends, his story will show you that no matter how hard life gets, you must keep going. This is not just a story. This is a journey of pain, rejection, poverty, success, and immortality. Watch till the end, because this story is perfect for your English learning and will motivate you like never before. Are you ready? Let's begin. Charlie Chaplin was born in the heart of London, England, on April 16, 1889. His parents, Hannah Chaplin and Charles Chaplin Sr., were both performers in the world of music and theater. They entertained crowds, sang songs, and lived for the stage. But life had different plans for young Charlie. His father was an alcoholic, a man who drank himself into oblivion. He abandoned his family when Charlie was just a little boy. His mother, Hannah, was left alone to raise two children, Charlie and his older half-brother, Sidney. And if you think life was kind to them, you are wrong. They lived in poverty, extreme, unbearable poverty. Sometimes, there was no food on the table. Sometimes, Charlie had to go to bed hungry. Sometimes, his mother would pretend to eat, just so her children could have a little more. They moved from one small, dirty room to another. They lived in fear of being thrown out. But Charlie, he was a child. And children, no matter how hard life is, still find ways to smile. Charlie's mother, Hannah, was a talented singer and actress. She performed in theaters, hoping to earn a few pennies to feed her children. Charlie loved watching her. He would sit backstage, mesmerized, dreaming of one day standing in front of an audience. But fate struck again. One terrible night, while performing in a theater, Hannah lost her voice. She could not sing. She tried, but her voice was gone. The audience shouted. They threw things at her. They wanted her off the stage. And then, something magical happened. A little boy, just 5 years old, walked onto the stage. Charlie. He picked up the microphone. He sang. He danced. And the crowd? They roared with laughter. They clapped. They cheered. That was the first time Charlie performed in front of an audience. The first time he felt the magic of making people laugh. And deep inside, he knew, this is what I was born to do. But life was cruel. After many years of being poor, hungry, and sad, Charlie's mother lost her mind. She was sent to a mental hospital. Charlie and his brother were left alone. With no family. No money. And nowhere to go. They became street children, wandering, begging, fighting for survival. Imagine this, a small boy, cold and hungry, walking the streets of London, looking through trash cans for food. That was Charlie Chaplin. But did he give up? No. Did he lose hope? Never. He kept going. Because he had a dream. And, my friends, this is where his real journey begins. Charlie Chaplin was now just a small, hungry, and abandoned boy walking the streets of London. He had no home. No parents to care for him. No money. And no idea where his next meal would come from. He and his older brother, Sidney, were forced to live in workhouses, terrible places where poor people were sent to work in exchange for food and shelter. These places were cold, cruel, and full of suffering. Charlie was just 7 years old when he first entered one of these workhouses. Imagine, a child so small, so innocent, being thrown into a world of hard labor and pain. He was separated from Sidney and sent to another workhouse alone. And when he finally returned to his mother, she was even sicker than before. Her mind was slipping away. Sometimes, she didn't even recognize Charlie. Charlie watched as doctors dragged her to a mental hospital. He screamed. He cried. But he was powerless. She was gone. Charlie was truly alone, a boy with a dream. But even in his pain, he had something powerful inside him, a dream. Charlie wanted to perform. He wanted to be on stage, just like his mother. He wanted to make people laugh, to entertain them, to bring joy to a world that had been so cruel to him. But where would a poor, homeless boy go? How would he even start the first steps toward the spotlight? Charlie knew he had only one option. To work and fight for his dream. He was still a child, but he started looking for small jobs. He washed dishes, delivered newspapers, and even worked as a toy maker. But no matter what job he did, his heart was always on the stage. Then, one day, he saw a group of street performers, acting and making people laugh. Something inside him told him, this is it. This is my chance. So, he joined them. He started performing on the streets, dancing, singing, doing small comedy acts. At first, no one cared. People just walked past him. But Charlie didn't give up. He kept performing. He kept improving. He watched other comedians, studied their movements, their timing, their expressions. And slowly, people started noticing him. They stopped to watch. They started laughing. And for the first time in his life, Charlie felt something magical. He had the power to make people happy. At the age of 14, Charlie got a huge opportunity. He was hired by a theater group called the 8 Lancashire Lads. It wasn't much. He was just a small part of the group. But it was a start. He worked harder than anyone. He learned every move, every trick. He practiced day and night. And his talent, it shined. One day, a theater director saw him and said, "This boy is special. He's different." Charlie was given bigger roles, more responsibilities. And then, at 16 years old, he landed his first major acting role in a play called Sherlock Holmes. Charlie was no longer just a street performer. He was now acting in real theaters, in front of big audiences. People loved him. Directors saw something in him, his expressions, his movements, his ability to make people feel emotions without even saying a word. And then, something happened that would change his life forever. Hollywood came calling. In 1910, Charlie was given a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go to America. He was invited to join a famous comedy troupe called Fred Carno's Company, which performed in the United States. This was huge. America was where dreams came true. Charlie packed his bags and stepped onto a ship, crossing the ocean toward his future. When he arrived in America, everything felt different. The streets were bigger. The people were louder. The energy was electric. And most importantly, Hollywood was there. Charlie knew one thing: this is where I belong. This is where I will become a star. And now we all know him as a legend. The final decade of Charlie Chaplin's life was one of reflection, recognition, and a quiet return to peace after years of controversy and exile. In 1967, Chaplin released A Countess from Hong Kong, starring Sophia Loren and Marlon Brando. Though not a success, it was his last directorial project, marking the end of an era. After decades of political controversy and being barred from the U.S., Chaplin finally returned in 1972 to accept an honorary Academy Award. From silent screens to global stardom, from exile to honor, Chaplin's final decade was a fitting close to a life that touched millions. One of the famous quotes of Charlie is, "A day without laughter is a day wasted." Thanks for watching. Keep watching for more motivational and inspiring stories.